Good Thursday afternoon. This is Les Johns with the More with Less podcast. It is my extreme pleasure today to present to you Wake Forest men's basketball returning junior. It's crazy to say that. Isaiah Mucius. Isaiah, welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me. It's been pretty good. I mean, quarantine it sucks. I obviously want to be on the court and getting ready for next season with my guys, but it's been good to have some time with my family at home and just spend time with them and, enjoy time at home. So it's been good.
One thing I was doing just a little bit of research. I mean, I feel like me and you could probably talk for a few minutes without me looking up anything about you. But as it turns out, you started last season pretty hot and finished last season pretty hot. And you're actually the leading returning rebounder and scorer for the Deacs next season. You're like the guy. How does that go?
It's a big role. I mean, I've talked to my parents and coaches and a lot of people around in my circle about the role that I'm going to be taking on next year as probably one of the key guys, on the team. It was kind of a challenge that I wanted to embark on. Like, it's something that, you work for your whole life to being one of those main key role guys on the team. And, I put the work in, and I'm going to continue to put the work in to make sure, when it comes down to getting the battle, I'm going to be able to exceed all expectations and go above and beyond with, the role that I have as leader, but also as one of the biggest pieces of the team.
Finished the season with what I remember as a career high, I think, against Pittsburgh. Scored 19. The bucket had to be feeling pretty big for you that night.
Yeah, I had, I think, 2 threes to start the game off, and, I was feeling really good. My jump shot was feeling really great. I got into the gym, I think, 2 days before that, and I was in the gym consistently working, and I felt my shot was good. So going to the game, I just had confidence, and I was kind of just like, I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to end the season off, so I just tried to give it everything I got, both ends of the floor. And, offensively, it was clicking, and every shot that went in, it just, felt like the rim was just a big, giant, bowl, and I just kept hitting shots. So it was a good game for me ending my season. So hopefully that momentum is going to go right into next season and continue through.
As you kind of referenced a little bit, the last couple months have been weird, for all of us. If I looked at it, things geographically, you're just like an hour away from the epicenter of this pandemic. Am I right?
Yeah. I haven't been anywhere towards near the city at all. I haven't. We rarely step out of the house here, but I have a little court in the backyard, and I have a couple weights here. So I've been able to make sure I'm gaining the weight and staying strong and making sure that, when we get back to school and whenever this opens back up, I have a solid base to work with and gain more weight and work on my game once, the gyms and all the resources that we have at Wake Forest.
Have you had plenty of Mama's macaroni and cheese?
Oh, yeah. At least, my birthday, I had at least, 4 plates. She makes it at least once a week, so I've been having a good amount of her mac and cheese. So it's been pretty good to be home and get some of that too.
Well, that's one of the best things about seeing you state that you're going to return to Wake Forest was knowing that maybe someday I'll get treated to Mama's mac and cheese.
I know. Hopefully, she came down at the end of the season and made some in my dorm. So maybe one of these days she'll sneak up and make a big tray, and I can just bring some for you guys to taste test, and y'all can actually see. Well, I'm not lying about this might be the best mac and cheese in the world.
You got to share the love, Zay.
Of course, yeah. I'm definitely going to share the wealth. That's what I'm about. So I'm going to share the wealth. And if I can get her, she got a busy schedule too. She's kind of famous. So if I could get her down to Winston-Salem to cook something up, then hopefully she'll be able to do something like that.
What's been the biggest challenge for you? And I know that you're a positive dude. Just from a pandemic and health perspective and staying active, what's been the biggest challenge for you mentally or physically the last couple months?
It's crazy. At the beginning, it was kind of I didn't really know how to kind of handle it and ways to continue to grow as a person with my body and my game without having the resources in the gyms and all the access to things at Wake Forest and then while I'm home. But I've done so much research on things I can do in the house and talk to many different people, and they've been helping me throughout the way in terms of ways that I can continue to grow my body with the limited resources I have. So it's been really great. I've been able to learn so much things and reading a bunch of different books, and a lot of leadership books and stuff. So I've still been able to get a positive out of this whole quarantine thing, rather than kind of like making it an excuse for me not to do any work.
What was the key to closing out the semester strong with everything moving online?
Man, it was just staying consistent. Obviously you're home, so at times you can just feel lazy and not really want to do work. But I think for me, it was kind of like I wanted to make sure like I got everything done, and I kind of just had a free vision to kind of focus on, getting myself better on the court. So as soon as I got home, I made sure I just started to check things off the list as soon as I can and talk to my academic advisors and make sure everything was done. And by no time, I was done like 2 weeks before all my assignments were due.
With the news last night of another addition to the roster, it appears that there are now all the way up to 10 scholarship players on the team, it looks like. But you were kind of like the first guy to say, hey, I'm in. You're the first to publicly come out and say, I'm in, I'm coming back. How important was that for you to kind of come out and voice that support early on?
It was super important for me. I mean, I think I was emerging as one of those leaders coming in as a junior next year. And I just wanted to make sure that, the guys and the people understood, like, yo, I'm ready to take on this leadership role. Like, anything you guys are going to throw at me, I'm going to be able to accept those challenges. And, I feel like I just have I wanted to make sure, I was with any of the guys that came back and I wasn't skeptical on anything. Obviously, through the whole entire process, it was tough for a lot of guys, including my teammates and myself, and making sure that we felt like it was going to be the right fit. But for me, I talked to parents and many different people, and we just sat down and felt like, staying at Wake Forest and being in Deke was the right way to go. And it felt like I was going to be able to make things happen with Coach Forbes, and now having a lot of the guys returning back is basically a blessing, and I'm just excited to just get to work.
What has the communication been like with Coach Forbes and the staff? And I guess the follow-up to that is, how do they plan on using you? Have you got any sense of that yet, Isaiah?
Yeah, it's been great conversations. I mean, they've talked to me, and they know that, I'm one of the leaders that they're gonna have to trust to, when it comes to on and off the court, any type of things that we do. He talked about his 5-out motion and how I'm gonna be utilized on the wing a lot more and being able to play free flow and handle the ball, come with ball screens, a lot of stuff like that. So it's gonna be able to open my game up a lot more. When I was at Brewster Academy, I was almost playing a point guard, 2 guard, and I had a bunch of guys that were 6'11", 6'8" on my team, and a bunch of big guys. So I was like kind of considered small. Like I wasn't the biggest guy on my team. So I was handling the ball and doing a lot of things. So his offense is kind of is a lot similar to how I played in high school at Brewster Academy. So I think guys like me, Ish, Jacoby, who like to play fast and run up and down the court, OD. Most of the guys coming back, I think the offense is going to be perfect for us because we're going to be able to get out and run, and I think it's going to open up so many opportunities to make plays.
It seems like part of your evolution last year was being patient and taking the right shots. How does that mix in with moving with the 5-out motion? In other words, how do you blend those two concepts to make you the complete player that you can be, Isaiah?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah. For me, it was like that process from freshman to sophomore year was kind of picking and choosing my right shots, right? As a freshman, you want to just get out there and make an impact on the game as much as you can in any way possible. And even if, it's a bad shot, for you sometimes it feels like a good shot. But for me, coming to my sophomore year, watched a ton of film after my freshman year and just finding ways and seeing the spots where I was getting a lot of my shots at. And took my time and made sure I was in the gym working on those things and made sure I was just taking the right shots and knowing the shots that, all right, I've been in the gym for thousands of hours. That's the shot I know I'm going to hit 9 out of 10 times. So in the game, I'm going to shoot that shot. If I didn't work on it, I wasn't going to shoot it. So going into the 5-out motion, the patience really comes from just seeing the open gap. Like, there's going to be a bunch of opportunities to attack in that 5-out motion and a bunch of gaps. So it doesn't always have to be a shot, but it helps guys be in an attack mode at all times because at any moment you can make a play, whether it's attacking and having a guy help on the weak side, or if it's attacking into the cup, or you have an open 3 because somebody drove and kicked. It's going to open up so many gaps. So it's going to keep guys in attack mode, but also keep guys patient in terms of like, all right, when's the right time to attack, when's not the right time to attack, because you don't want to just attack and 5 out and then you got guys, all clustered up. It's gonna make it patient for guys, and it's gonna open up so many different opportunities for guys to score, make plays and pass, or do anything in that offense. So I think it's gonna be a great thing for a lot of us.
Where do you see the team moving defensively? And have y'all talked about that, Annie? I know that going into last season, Brandon Childers, for instance, had talked about your evolution defensively, and he talked about the strides that you were making and thought that you could really have a big impact last year defensively. I mean, he is saying there's no reason Isaiah Mucius can't be Defensive Player of the Year. It was the type of things he was telling us before the season started. Where do you think that evolution will come this year for you and for the team?
Yeah, for me, definitely. Taking that big role offensively is also gonna have to come on defensive end. Being one of the guys, with the most experience, being a 3-year player, I'm gonna have to go out and guard the best guys on the court because I know a lot of their games, right? I've played against them for years on years, going into year 3. So I'm gonna have the best, scouting report in my head going up against the top guy at Virginia or whatever, and I'm more than Coach Forrest because he's new, right? So for me, it's like I'm gonna make sure that I'm getting my reps in, my defensive slides, and working on my stuff, so Coach Forbes and my team can trust me into like, all right, tonight I'm guarding him. So for me, I want to make sure I'm taking those strides into having that confidence level and into wanting to guard the best guys on the court. But I think also as a team, I think Coach Forbes' energy and how he plays, it's gonna rile guys up. I think he's kind of a guy that's like, if you play defense and you're going to get after it on defense, I'm going to let you flow on offense. And I think as a player, that's a rewarding factor from a guy where it's like, all I have to do is just play hard on defense. I can do whatever I want on offense. Any basketball player is going to want to take that, right? So I think with Coach Forbes pushing us and having us really, hone in on that defensive end, I think it's gonna reward us on both ends.
What were your thoughts on the little video they put together where John Curry throws the whistle to Coach Forbes and Forbes, slams the face mask down? Was that hokey, fun, inspiring? What did that do for you? I mean, be truthful.
He's not gonna get an Oscar, that's for sure. We're gonna have to work on it. We're definitely gonna have to work on his acting skills. But man, it got me hyped. I mean, seeing a coach that's that energized, and is kind of ready to work off from the gate, is kind of just a down to earth guy. It riled me up. Even though it's like you think it's probably the corniest video, but like for a guy that's gonna be your coach, seeing him like super passionate, it got me fired up. I was kind of ready to fly down to Winston as soon as I saw the video. But it just shows who he is. Like he's a guy that has worked his way from the bottom up from where he's came from and just grinded to get to where he's at. And for me, that's a person that I can relate to because I wasn't always the top-ranked guy in middle school or whatever, and I kind of just grinded my way up. So that connection for me to Coach Forbes I really take, to heart, and it's something that I think he'll be able to connect to me, but also a lot of the players on the team is that he just works. He works, and he's worked to get to where he is, and I think we can all respect him for that, for sure.
How's it been the last couple of weeks? You were the first to kind of chime in and say, yeah, I'm in. But now, Jacoby, Ish, got the addition last night. Odie, can't forget Odie. Folks are jumping on board. You kind of had the pieces of a team that could be exciting, could win some games. How do you feel about how things are coming together?
Man, I think if the people were to look back at this like 4 weeks, they'd be like, nah, this team isn't going to come together well. But, we're getting the right pieces we need. Like we're filling in those gaps that we need from guys that have departed and gone, to further their careers. But we've filled in those pieces, and it's coming together well. We're getting the shooters, we're getting the bigs, we're getting the guys that we need in order to fill those gaps. And I think the guys that have come back are going to take huge steps. Jacoby, you saw last year, the last 5 games, he took a big step, coming in. So I think his, that play that he had at the end of the season is going to be huge. It's just making super strides, almost leading the ACC in 3-point percentage. Like he's going to be a dead-eye shooter next year. I feel like he's gonna make big impacts. Odie, he's a dog. He's gonna work every day, and he's definitely gonna be that piece that we need to, beat guys up in practice and make sure we're keeping that energy up at all times. And then every other piece on our team is just Ian is gonna come in and bring us, that veteran mentality, the scorer, and just kind of a veteran guy. The new kid Jonah, I had talked to him last night a little bit. He's a dead-eye shooter, so having him and Ish on the wing, kind of like, you don't know. You can't really, like, help in too much because that's going to spread the offense so much. So we got the right pieces, and we'll be able to change up so many different lineups and do a lot of different things. I see in my eyes that, it's going to be hard for us to guard.
I agree. I like how things are coming together. Jonah Antonio, that was an interesting addition last night. And when you start digging into the numbers and what he does and watch his tape, he's going to be a key piece. I've texted him a couple times. We've got to talk. He's called me mate twice, which I guess, he's from Australia.
He called me mate too. I didn't notice that he was from Australia. But yeah, I was like, mate, I was like, oh, this is going to, I can't wait to talk to him in person and see how that conversation in person is. But I had played it actually when we were texting. We had actually played against each other in high school when I was back at St. James. He was at Sunrise Christian, and they came, I think it was like them, Montrose Christian, National Christian Prep. It was like a bunch of schools that played at my school for like a tournament. So we played against each other one time. I think we got whooped, but I had a pretty good game, so it wasn't
I probably know this, but the jerseys hanging in the back, are those all your older jerseys from places you've been?
This is my brother's room, but some of these jerseys are mine. So he'll like to go in my room and like take a bunch of jerseys and hang them up on the wall, on his wall. So I kind of like let him do all that stuff. But yeah, it's some of these jerseys are mine, some of them are his. So he's gonna be that next up and coming. He's like 6'3", and he's gonna be really good. So every day we work out together, and he just turned 15 too. So he was like, all right, I want to go play one-on-one outside. I'm like, are you sure? All right, we'll play one-on-one outside, and I beat him every single time. But he gets better and better each day, and it gets me better because he's pretty quick and super skilled because he's been working out with me since he was little. So he's able to help me out on the defensive end, and I'm able to help him out. He's kind of getting ready for high school and getting to play against bigger guys. So we definitely challenge each other every single day when it comes to, the court.
Has he ever beaten you?
No.
That day will come, though.
I can't let it happen. I can't. If it happens one time, I don't know what I'm going to do. But until he gets to like 25, 26, I don't even think he's going to beat me then. But, it's going to be a tough road for him going up. But he's going to be really good. He's going to be a really good player.
We'll wrap up with kind of this kind of discussion. Like I said, I know you're an extremely positive person. You keep your head up, and you always got that positive outlook. How have you maintained that over the last couple months with all the tumult and everything going on in the world? How's Isaiah kept his head up?
Man, I've thank God for FaceTime and the communications and the evolution of technology that we have now. It's been able to keep me connected with a lot of family members. My grandmother, who we can't always see because of the corona, we don't want to get her sick. But it's been able to keep me together. And like when I feel like, damn, like I miss my family, I'll just FaceTime them or get on a whole Zoom call with like 20 of us, and we'll just talk and chat it up. But I just been looking at it as this is kind of a time for me to kind of grow mentally as a person, read into some things, watch film on myself, kind of watch. Obviously, I'm watching the Jordan documentary. If you're not a hooper, you're not watching it. You kind of, I don't know what you're doing, but it's been able to just help me, being able to open up and figure out, my mindset and what type of leader I want to be coming into next season. Obviously, you have to be a certain type of leader for certain people. So, I've had my dad try to get a bunch of books for me to read and get myself prepared and to step into that leadership role and understand that, you can't push guys too much, but you also have to be super encouraging and you can't criticize too much because that's not my job. So, you criticize to the point where you just want your teammates to get better and you encourage more because your teammate, you want to see them prosper. So, different that I want to, get better at. And I've been doing that throughout this whole time. So it's been great. It's been a really good time. Obviously, I want to be outside and shooting and be with my teammates, but at the same time, I've seen a positive outlook to grow mentally and as a person through this whole time.
When we all get back together again and the basketball start bouncing, how important is it going to be to have the Joel packed for you guys this winter?
It's going to be super important. I think with the energy that Coach Forbes is bringing and the hype around the team, I think if you're not at the Joel, you're missing out. Like if you're somewhere else and you're not at the Joel that night we're playing, I think you're going to be missing out on some fun and super energetic basketball. I think, Coach Forbes is going to be on the sideline yelling and encouraging guys after they hit a three or dive on a loose ball. And guys are just going to be super in tune. And I think that the energy is just going to be through the roof. once season starts bounding. So having that Joel packed like it was when Coach Chill and Tim Duncan was there is going to be a super key thing. And I think the fan base is loving every single ounce of what we're bringing to the table right now. I think we're bringing in the right guys. The energy with Coach Forbes and the team is at an all-time high right now, and I think we're going to be able to keep that high all the way through the season. And I think the fans are going to have something looking forward to coming up to the season.
Isaiah, thank you so much for spending some of your Thursday afternoon with us. Best of luck in the next few weeks or whatever, where we're still all apart. And I can't wait to see you live in person again.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.